Good morning, students. Welcome to our first lecture on artificial intelligence in India. And I am Neeraj, assistant professor at SRMU Saravaki in computer science and engineering department. And I am your subject teacher for artificial intelligence. So today we will discuss what is artificial intelligence. So to discuss what is artificial intelligence, we have to take machines because intelligence that is created artificially means we are trying to make devices intelligent. Intelligence is a concept in humans. We say that we are intelligent and somehow we are intelligent due to we are having some knowledge base and we have some facts and based on those facts we have certain patterns in our mind and uh, if we are given with the certain conditions, we are able to take decisions and perform actions. Uh, that could be right and wrong, depends on the perception of the other people. So the similar way, we are having machines uh, which can be programmed, but they are not intelligent. Whatever we write in them, they just do those tasks. They are mundane. So, how can we think of machines which behaves like humans? How can we say that a machine is intelligent? So, there should be certain parameters to for machine to be intelligent. It should behave externally like humans, means it should act as a human. Uh, somehow we are having, suppose somehow we are having a robot which are doing tasks as we human do. So, this is behaving externally like, and it should be capable of taking decisions uh, by help of the algorithms which are written in the form of the programs in its memory and that is being with the processor or say with the use of microcontroller. Then we can say if the machine, if a device is behaving externally like human and it is operating internally in programs as humans, then it would be intelligent. And the the computational systems which are to be intelligent must behave intelligently. And they should be having rational behavior like we do. So there was a scientist, Alan Turing, he was the one of the major in computer science and engineering. So he proposed a concept that how we come to know that a machine is intelligent like we. So he proposed a test that is known as the Turing test. So what was the Turing test? Actually, he said if we are having a room in which there is a computer and there is a man, and there is some observer outside the room who don't know who is inside the room. We don't know whether there is a human in both the room or whether there is a computer in a single room or there is a computer in both the room. Uh, but the Turing proposed that if in one of the rooms we place a man and in the second room we place a computer and there is an observer which is a man, if he asks questions to computer and human and he, based on those kind of questions, if he is not able to recognize which one is the human and which one is the computer, or he's not able to say that there is a computer which is answering my answer, then we can say that a machine which is a computer which is placed inside a room is somehow intelligent because he is this computer is acting, it is acting as a human because the observer which is human is not able to identify that it is a computer. So this was the Turing test, and Turing proposed a thesis that if a computer is able to do so, then definitely that computer or that machine is somehow. So now we will talk about the various applications of artificial intelligence. So we can say we are having, we could be having the autonomous planning and scheduling of the task abroad or spacecraft. Suppose spacecraft is about to launch. So there are the certain procedures or certain programs which have to take decisions before the launch. So the planning and scheduling of all those tasks is being done automatically. Then it is a part of artificial intelligence, and it is one of the applications of artificial intelligence because we have to take decisions very fast during the launch, and there are a lot of calculations which has to be done in computers which are very fast. So this task is very difficult to implement by the human beings. So somehow, if these all planning and scheduling is done by the computer systems, so this is also an application of artificial intelligence. And we have seen in history that a computer has beaten Gary Kasparov, who is the world champion for chess. So somehow the computer is intelligent because he is beating a most intelligent person playing a game in this world. So definitely that computer is intelligent. We can see nowadays we are hearing about a car that is a driverless. Google is trying to achieve this task, and Tesla company, one of the science major, is also doing work to manufacture or to develop a car which can be a driverless car. So if the car is running with the help of the computer, then somehow the computer should be intelligent because he is taking decisions in the real time, depending upon the environment. So this is one of the applications of the driverless car. Sorry, this is one of the applications of the artificial intelligence. Again, there is one more application could be of understanding language, and I have already tell you in demonstration that we could be having nowadays we are having systems, we are having programs which can understand English language, and even the English language is converted to Hindi language, or any language in this world is converted to any other language within the translator. So this is also the application of the artificial intelligence. Nowadays, robots are assisting the surgeons to operate, and the success rate of the robotic assistant is found to be uh, more than the human assistance. So this is also one of the application of the artificial intelligence. Nowadays, we are having several platforms which takes the decision which stock to buy or to sell at the real time. So we are having real time algorithms which are processing the data of the stocks, and they can automate the buying and selling process of the stocks. So this is also one of the applications of artificial intelligence. Now, before going to the subject, we have to put uh, some history of the intelligence and what are the application of the intelligence in many other fields, such as in the field of the philosophy. फिलोसफी में भी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस कहाँ से आया और कब से इसकी शुरुआत हुई. Then in mathematics, every field is trying to be somehow making the intelligence systems. In economics, we talk about the artificial intelligence. In neuroscience, we are talking about the artificially making we are trying to making artificial brains. In psychology, in control theory, and at last, in 1950, first time John McCarthy has coined the term artificial intelligence in 1950. So we had to start from philosophy. फिलोसफी में कहाँ से आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का रोल प्ले होना शुरू हुआ. सबसे पहले डेविड ह्यूम ने प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इंडक्शन इंट्रोड्यूस किया. प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इंडक्शन इंट्रोड्यूस किया और उसके उसके बाद अरिस्टोटल जो कि एक फिलोसोफर थे, उन्होंने ये बताया कि if we are having certain facts written in the form of mathematics, uh, using those facts by inferencing, we can reach out to some decisions. So ये तो हमारा आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की शुरुआत हुई थी फिलोसफी में हमने कहा था कि अगर हम जो हमारे सेंटेंसेस हैं उनको अगर हम prepositions के फॉर्म में लिखें और if we are having several propositions, so based on those propositions we are able to take the decisions, or we can say by inferencing we just can find out the correct rule. So this was the uh, beginning of the artificial intelligence philosophy. Then in mathematics we had Boolean logic, means we had some Boolean variables, and by performing several operation on these Boolean variables we reached to some goals. Then intractability was introduced in 1960, in which we try to study the equations which are running in the polynomial time, and some of them are running in the exponential time. So we talked about the interactability in 1960 in mathematics. Then there was introduction of probability in 1500, and basically the probability came into existence for the gambling. So this was the introduction of the somehow intelligent mathematics. Then we talked about intelligence in economics. We have to take the decisions to maximize the payoff, and we have to uh, how how do we do this when the payoff may be far in the future, and we have to calculate that how can we reduce the payoff to the persons and increase the profit. This is all this of somehow being done intelligently in the economy. Then the concept of utility came in the 1900s. Then we have game theory in mid 1900s. That is 1950 across. So these were the intelligence systems which are talked about in economics. Then we have talked about the artificial intelligence in neuroscience by using by just studying the nervous system. For example, in the brain, nowadays we are everyone is knowing that there is neurons and all neurons. There are several neurons and all neurons are connected in some fashion by which they are able to take the decisions. So we talked about the human brain cycles and computer brain cycles, and we are able to find out that still uh, our brain is 1 lakh times faster than the computer. So this was the introduction of intelligence in neuroscience. And we talked about the intelligence in psychology. We talked about the behaviorism. We talked about the in history about the cognitive science, in which we have tried to compare our brain with the computers in terms of the memory, language, and thinking. And now we can thought of our brain as the construct of the IO units and processing. So this was the introduction of intelligence psychology. Then in control theory, Justivius of Alexandria has created a water clock that can be regulated, and uh, there we are having some controller by which we can manipulate the water clock. So this was the use of the intelligence in control theory. Then I think this is all over for today's lecture, and you have to just go through the details of all these topics.